to be a feminist.
Okay.
So.
And the final prompt is, there is no shame in having a high body count.
Oof.
No. Okay.
Well, I think that shame leads to repentance, and repentance leads to changed behavior. And so having a high body count, like, for example, I talk to people in my community, in the Christian community, and I speak with people, and women that do have high body counts, they tend to struggle with like BPD, borderline personality disorder, other personality issues, comparison, even struggling with being satisfied in the bedroom with their husbands because they had so many other sexual partners. So I do think that there should be shame. I think there should be shame if men are sleeping around. I will say that there's accountability for that too. That's not right. So, but this is like our Christian beliefs. So in my Christian beliefs are both of us should be waiting until marriage. So yeah.
Well, I want to address the statistics there, because people with higher body counts do show higher satisfaction in relationships, specifically also like couples who have more sex over time experience happier sexual relationships like that. The other thing, I want to make sure that we're getting the causation right here. Women or people with BPD struggle with higher impulsive sexual behavior. It's not people who are more sexual struggle with BPD. I want to make sure we're not like saying this thing is causing like high sexual behavior is causing BPD. It just happens to be that this group of people, that's like saying that people who have like hallucinations struggle with schizophrenia or whatever. We're like, okay, well, yeah, you're going to look at a population that has a high level of that and say, oh, well, they have high levels of this. Well, yeah, that's like the population you're looking at. That's like saying also that men happen to be more suicidal, and then saying like, oh, it's a thing with men.
She just defeated her whole argument.
She did.
She literally just defeated her whole argument, because they are talking about the subgroup of women that got a high body count, and she tried to do a correlate to people that struggle with schizophrenia. Okay, yeah, it's gonna be higher people that have hallucinations. That is the main point. She did. See, that's how you know they just be talking, bro. They don't even be thinking. They can't even do analogies right. I ain't talking about all women. I'm talking about the far liberal type women.
Yeah.
Like, it is just a fact about being a male that makes you more suicidal, which is not true. Like, you're getting the causation kind of mixed up. I want to make sure that's very clear.
I mean, I feel like I'm going to speak from a whole different type of language where I think that when you are laying down with someone, you're creating a soul tie. So I do think that will lead to some type of just spiritual bonding.
Do you have like an argument that there's like a spiritual, or is this just like religious?
Yeah, it's just my religious beliefs. Yeah.
Okay. There's no evidence. I mean, I can't argue with that.
Anyone else?
I feel like we're looking at different statistics on the relational satisfaction, because women with higher body counts get divorced at a far higher rate. And they also, it's harder for them to pair bond with their husbands because they've had so many past partners.
So pair bonding research is really not super strong, right? This idea of like oxytocin being released and stuff like that. The pair bonding is quite weak, evidentially. Like it's just increasingly becoming an unpopular theory around sex and sexual bonding, right? It seems like intimacy and closeness over time predicts closeness rather than these sort of things. I guess to kind of speak to the shame piece more directly, being Christian as well, there is immeasurable amounts of sexual shame in the church. So guilt, when you're talking about repentance, guilt drives behavioral change. Shame doesn't. Shame drives lying and closing down and not talking to others. If you look at the rates, for example, of vaginismus, if you guys don't know what that is, it's when sex and any form of penetration is exceptionally painful for a woman. It is 3 times higher in religious groups. As a woman who's been married, I'm married for 8 years. I only have a body count of 1, came from a very Christian background. My Christian background and the tying of sexual shame that was there was so hard on my marriage. And in fact, if you talk to a lot of religious women, they're going to tell you this, right? A lot of my friends, for example, say, my virginity was so tied to my value that when I lost it to my husband, I thought I was dirty, right? Look at the rates of orgasm amongst religious married women. So shame in general, when it comes to sexuality, seems mostly just to lead to worse outcomes. There can be conversations about impulsivity, right? About choosing who your partner is more wisely. I'm actually open to those conversations. The issue is that when we shame people for their body count, it's disproportionately women, right? If you look at these, and I agree that you're consistent, it's both of you. Look at these red pill podcasts. All they want to do is get their body count up and shame women for giving them that body count, right? This leads to worse relationships.
What is a high body count? I'm curious. What's the number? What's the number?
I don't think it's
I'm
necessarily
curious.
a number. I think it's more so the idea of sleeping around for no reason and not having
Well, there's definitely a
any
reason.
commitment.
I know, right?
Sure. And I would actually agree with the shame part in religion. I think purity culture can be very dangerous. It's seen as more of a sin than anything else. And it's very damaging to women. And we see this even in marriages. Like you said, women still think sex is a sin in their marriage. I think that's a problem. So I think it's not so much, I don't think we need to bring back shame to women. I think it's more so that being sexual and being promiscuous shouldn't be celebrated as much in our culture as it is.
Sure, but the prompt was specifically, is it more shameful, right? And you guys said, yes, that is necessarily bringing more shame.
Okay, so before they go crazy, before they dive in further, I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Do you think it's shameful for women to have a high body count?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, let me say, I don't think it's shameful. I don't think that it's not gonna. The purpose of what you're trying to do, if you're trying to be in a relationship with one person, I think that's the part that fucks it all up. If you've had like a lot of partners, it's almost like it. It's almost like if you look at it like in a work situation, like say truck drivers, right? Truck drivers can do what the fuck they want to do, pretty much.
Hey, bro, turn your mic up, bro. Turn your mic up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you can hear you now, but I think it's still the sound. I'll go ahead.
All right, I'm going to change. All right, so
just a tad bit, or move your phone away from it if it is bad.
So like if you look at if you try to compare it to like situations like a job situation, like with women, like just say truck drivers, right? They can do the most. They can get a job whenever the fuck they want. If they got their CDL, they can get a job in one day. 30 minutes, they can have a job, right? So like if you keep going on, you keep moving and moving and moving and moving and moving, and you keep going, like eventually it's a situation where nothing's gonna make you happy. You might be happy for a second, but you're gonna keep moving on. You're gonna keep moving on. You keep fucking. Like if you look at someone who had a job to say, if it was like, even if this person was, they did the best thing in whatever position they had, they were the best at it. But if you look at it, like how many jobs they had in the past, say 5 years, they had 20 jobs in the last 5 years. If anyone with sense, you're gonna say, hey, this person can't deal with shit. They're not gonna be here for a long time. Like I already noticed, you can tell by the past, they're gonna move on. Like that's how sex is with women. If you keep, the more you get, you're gonna keep going because it's real easy for them to do it. You're gonna keep going and get that high, and keep going and get that high, and keep going. You keep wanting more and more and better. With men, the way it works, it's like we pinpoint shit that we value in women. So we can have sex with a ton of girls, and then we'll say, yo, these are the main things that I fucking value in a girl. And if I find that, and it's not even that big, I'm gonna fucking stick that shit out. So I know how hard it is to keep getting another one, get another one. I'm gonna stick that shit out. So I think the biggest thing is when girls get their body count up, they're pretty much it screws you over because you already know you can get something else. You can get something else. Like any person who have that kind of choice would do that. So like any person. So obviously that's how girls are built. Any girl, whatever she's built, how she looks, whatever. In one day can go out and ask 10 dudes, hey, you want to fuck? And I guarantee you, one of those motherfuckers is gonna say yeah. So like that shit just don't happen like that with us. So the body count it's not the it. It's not the it. It's just it's what comes with it. You know what I'm saying? It's not the ick shit. So, to me, when I look at body count, I look like, yo, if it wasn't just me, I don't really give a fuck. Like the count don't matter to me. It's just that what I gotta deal with if you had a lot, and I don't want to deal with that. So that's kind of how I think that's how it works.
So more of a peace of mind. So more of a peace of mind thing for you than anything.
More, but just how people work. just because I can tell if a girl has a high body count, she can't deal with problems.
Yeah, so it'll still revolve back for if she can't handle problems or any type of situation, it'll still be that would disrupt your peace of mind because now you got to deal with this shit. Yeah.
I agree with Marcus. I say it's levels to the high body count situation. It is shameful if we see the worst of the worst. We already know what that is. Just getting slutted out for no reason. Just it is what it is. Just bouncing around and stuff. I say that's shameful. But having a high body count, I think men and women look at things from a different lens, and that's the issue. I think most men think about like what you got to deal with a woman that does have a high body count. Like, yeah, you've been doing a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, okay, we don't know exactly the number, but I can tell. Just like that conversation we had the other day, Courtney. Like, we understand. Like, we can 9 times out of 10, if we out, we can see if a chick, she probably got a high body count. She probably out there. We ain't gonna say high body count, right? And that's another thing. People when y'all watching these podcasts and all that type of stuff, and y'all hear these keywords, majority of the time these keywords are talking points that's on YouTube. We don't use that outside of it. It's just a summary so we can understand what's going on, so we can have the conversation. So submissiveness, high body count, this, that, and third. Men don't be out there. I bet she got a high body count. Oh, right. I can't fuck with her. It's not that. It's just like I bet she going. I can tell how she move. I can tell how she walk. I can tell how I didn't just saw her all in about 4 dudes' faces. She too comfortable getting in men's faces, like the men that she actually don't know and stuff. Or if you do know that many, goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the chicks with the high body count, a lot of times, just like Marcus said, they are not the ones that's going to stick out. They're not going to stick for the long run when it comes to relationships because they can't handle difficulty. They don't have to. Why? Why should they? They just going to go to the next one. Anytime you get to a situation where y'all have a disagreement or he not on the same page, I guess he's not my guy, my man. I'm going to go find the other one. Now you get with another one. Then you get with another one. And the number one thing is, Courtney, the girls with the highest body count got the most questions about relationships as they get older. They always asking why this, y'all men. And then when you hear their rhetoric, like how much experience you got with all these type of guys, and it sounds like you're not good at discernment or vetting process because every time you talking about men, you only talk about negative stuff. You got the Derek Jackson syndromes where we can talk about one man and we'll say, well, he's a good man. And then every time we say, yeah, that's a good man. These are good quality, but he can still cheat though. And then he'll do this and that third, and they'll run off. They'll go universe 7. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's how that's another thing, how they got a high body count because they tell on themselves. One thing, you let women talk long enough, they're going to tell you everything you need to know. You hear women all the time talk about, I done had the broke man, I had the average man, I had the high value man, I done had all of them. I had the short, I had the tall, I had the buff, I had this, I had that, this, that. They'll say they had all that.
Somebody echoing, bro.
Huh?
Somebody echoing. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, but yeah, bro, like I wouldn't say it's shameful, but at the same time, like when we have these conversations, a lot of women they don't understand where men come from. So they always want to go based off what other women say. They don't want to hear what men say. They ask all the questions. Why y'all men? What's wrong with a woman with a high body count? And then you start talking, and they'll say, "No, that's not what y'all think. Y'all think this, that, and the third." We're like, no, we telling you. Y'all just got other women telling y'all how we think. Like when you think about it in history, us as black men, we can never dictate our story. Even with slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights, even post after that, you got feminism. So when women say, my granddad, he ain't never complained. I ain't never hear him say about, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. Because men would get scrutinized back in the day. Men didn't really have a voice and all that type of stuff. So when we sitting here telling you how we look at things and how we experience women with high body counts, you don't believe it. Or you have a coping mechanism and say is woman power empowerment. There's no empowerment if you getting passed around. I control my sexuality. No, the dude that's flipping you upside down is controlling your sexuality.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? You doing all the freaky shit, and then okay, now you want your wrist bent. Now you want to live the soft life. now you looking for the dude that could provide that soft life, and the dude is he was like, you looking rough. I ain't trying to deal with that shit. I ain't trying to handle you. I'm not trying to do all that stuff. But they would try to shame men saying, hey, I know I did all that bullshit back then. You need to accept me for who I am. No, I don't. Because you ain't accept me for who I am when I was making $55,000.
Yeah.
Rob, what you got?
Now I'm making 100, right? Now I'm making 100. Now it's like, okay, I can get with you now. No, I'm good. I'm with the chick that she didn't even ask me about how much money I was making. We were just vibing and kicking it, and we just grew organically.
Right, you got that pop
I think 1914 titties is confused. She needs to be sitting on the other side.
He said 1914.
Shorty with the corset on the outside of the dress and shit.
Yeah.
With the black curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
When she speak, she sound a little more conservative than confused. Like, you know, but I don't know. If her husband let her fight back in the crib, then that's on him. But when it comes to this body count thing, and we ain't even really brought shame back the way we need to. So they over here talking about, oh, women getting shamed and blah, blah, blah. It's like, ain't nobody really pressing the issue the way they want to press it. Because, yeah, men don't get shamed as much for a high body count, but at the same time, y'all women reward experience. So it just is what it is. And practice squad exists for a reason. And so if you want your man to be jack of all trades, well, I'm sure you ain't want him to jack off. You want him to know what the fuck to do when he there. So yeah, they gonna practice with who's for practice. That don't mean you turn yourself into a fucking practice doll and then come back and think that you deserve the world. So I believe shame should probably be on both sides realistically, because on the real, some men get a little too much cootie cat and they wild out too, and they be off the rail. So
yeah,
you know, they get one whiff too many and they just burnt the fuck out. And hey, that's probably why, you know, that rainbow flag getting flown so much too. It's like, it's only so much you could do. And I feel like the older people, once they went and got their damn prostate exam, they probably bit their lip the second time they got it, and that's why they done went haywire too. So, hey, the shit's fucked off everywhere. But if you want a lasting relationship, in the whole like pair bonding conversation that they were getting into, that they didn't really understand the dynamic, if you know too much, it's harder for you to focus.
They don't even understand they doing it right now.
Right? Oh yeah.
They don't even really understand they doing it right now as we speak, as far as how you are putting yourself out there. You might got a bunch of bodies, but it's based off how you how you talking and presenting yourself. The girls on the left, they talking fast, they coping, they trying to make everything okay for it. You had the women on the right, they were being kind of more objective. They was like kind of coming to even ground on a couple of things. You know what I'm saying? The other ones on the left, no. And that's why it's difficult to try to talk to people that are really not objective, because they're not there to learn. They're not there to listen. Throughout this whole, I haven't watched this whole thing. I saw clips throughout this whole thing. When the women on the left, when they talk, nobody interrupts. They let them go.
I was just gonna ask the question. I was just gonna say, look, I was gonna preface it by saying, hey, I want y'all to notice something as this video continues to keep going, because you're gonna notice something about the right side and about the left side. But there's still something else that's gonna pop up too within this entire conversation, because it ain't even got to that point yet. But you can automatically tell the hit dogs and the ones that's hollering. You can tell the difference. You can tell the difference between the two. But I do agree with everybody. I do agree. We need to bring shaming back. We do. I think it's shameful. I do.
We need to bring it back in the worst way, because another thing too is nowadays they can cheat the body count by getting all these toys.
Yeah.
If a bitch to own more than 3 roses, I don't necessarily want her. The coochie burnt out.
Yep.
The thing about it is, back in the day, the men wasn't really the ones that was shaming them. It was the women saying, "Hey, get out from that street." You were like the women used to say, "You a streetwalker, you a hussy. Stop looking like a hussy. Do this and that and third and blah blah blah." You know what I'm saying? The men, they reaping the benefits if you out there doing what you're doing, right? So like the men really wasn't shaming for real. They making music videos calling you hoes and all that type of shit. But shit,
the men was still shaming.
They
they was still shaming.
They was shaming, but I'm saying the women were doing majority of the shaming, bro.
Oh yeah, the women was doing it in traffic. See, the problem is when you done stuck that thing off in them, they don't listen no more. They go deaf. The men was shaming them while putting them through the headboard. Like, yeah, you little dirty slut. You like this shit, huh?
Well, I'm talking about.
I'd have called you a dirty slut at the corner store. You'd have been like, "What you just say to me?" But she over there getting drilled and put through there. So now she like, oh yeah, I'm your favorite one. But then Monday morning when he got his suit and tie on going to work, you over here talking about, oh, why you keep talking to all these hoes? I thought you loved me. Nah, he just called you a slut like he did the other 3. Like, the fuck you thought this was?
I ain't really. I think shaming is like putting accountability. I'm saying shame. I think shaming is more like somebody putting accountability on your actions, not just calling you a slut to call you what you are. I'm talking about like the women would say, you look like a hussy, you dress like a hussy, leave them boys alone, this, that, or third, and blah, 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 because you're going to be looked at as a hoe. That's what I'm looking at, like shaming. The women, Big Mama used to do that shit, but now in today's society, the grandmas are out here. I think it was a video. I don't know if we saw it here or it was a video. The grandma said, "I ain't trying to look over no grandchildren. I ain't trying to do that. I'm trying to be out. I'm trying to party."
They trying to be best friends with them.
And then this the thing. This is the crazy thing. This is kind of off topic, but it just popped in my head. Women shame men trying to date 20-year-old. Now I ain't with the whole 20-year-old. I'm just saying this is the issue. They talking about men are semi-pedos because they want to be with 20-year-olds. But you got the same 30-year-old women talking about they still look like they 20. They trying to look 20. Right? I'm 30, I'm 35, but I look 20. They say I look 20. I'm 20. I still look 20. 30 is the new 20. So if a dude go actually get a 20-year-old, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's true. Let me play on.
Go ahead. Hey, can y'all hear me though? Before
can you hear? Do you still hear the echo?
Nah.
No echo.
Okay.
That's necessarily doing the thing you're opposed to.
Okay, well, I mean, I have a yes or no. So I'm not going to say no because I don't think that being sexually promiscuous is good for anyone. So that's why I said
the prompt. Okay. So I want to chime in here and say that I grew up in a very conservative religion that shamed you for any type of sex outside of marriage. What did that lead to? What did shaming people about body count lead to in that kind of religious situation? People lied about it. Here's the natural truth about humans. All of us have sex, even when we pretend we don't have sex. We are all still having sex. I don't care if it's the 1950s or it's 2025. Every person is having sex. That's just the reality of it. Some people want to have sex less than others. Some people want to have sex more than others. And none of that is about who they are morally as a person. I am a person who happens to consider myself to be hypersexual. It's just part of who I am. It's always been part of who I am. And when I was 14, growing up in a very religious church that told me that who I was as a person was bad, That was really harmful for me as a person. I was depressed as a child. I was on antidepressants. I thought something was broken in myself. And when I finally left that religion and the shackles of the shame that had been placed on me by the patriarchy in that religion, I realized there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just this type of person. And here's the deal. People who like to have sex with a lot of people, we like to date other people who like to have sex with a lot of people. And people who don't like to have sex with a lot of people should date people who don't have sex with a lot of people. And it doesn't say anything about who they are as a person or their value as a human being or how good they are.
It says you're a hoe. It says you're a slut. That's exactly what it says about you. It says exactly that. You have no discipline because you just want to bust it open for everybody because somebody was holding you and calling you shameful, and just because you had this anecdotal experience of somebody who was being extreme and holding you accountable, you felt some type of way. All of a sudden, you telling me it's that extreme that you want to have sex so bad to the point that you want antidepressants now at the age of fucking 14? Grow the fuck up. Let's be real. Let's be real about the conversation. Grow the fuck up. It's not that fucking serious. Cool. Yeah, we everybody know we're adults. People want to have sex. We understand that. But for you to be on antidepressants because somebody shamed you, yes, you should be shamed because you shouldn't be doing it because that's your virtue in the first fucking place. At the end of the day, I get it. We got to hold men accountable. We got to hold women accountable, but we got to hold women more accountable than we do the men because they are the ultimate gatekeepers of their bodies, right? Their body, their choice, right? You don't hear men talking about, oh yeah, it's my body, my choice, man. You know, they can't tell me what to do with my dick, bro. Nah, it's your body. Y'all want to fight for this. So therefore, protect your body. Not only when somebody nuts and you, then all of a sudden they tell you, nah, you gonna have that baby. You decide to lay down, you gonna have that baby. No, protect your body. How about that? Protect your entire body, everything that come with it. Don't just pick and choose when it only benefits you and when there's some reason for you to fucking argue. This is first world bullshit. And it's always these white fucking liberal women every fucking time. Like it pisses me off, bro. Like this shit's annoying.
And this the thing, Courtney.
Equality.
That chick, that white chick, she fucking wrong. She's wrong. Because I done met plenty of women, like women love sex too. Yes. But here's the thing. I done met many of women that say they don't have sex with a lot of people. When they find a guy that they feel comfortable with, they have sex with them all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. They'll have sex with him all the time. That's the variable that everybody don't want to talk about. Is either you have sex with a whole bunch of people or you don't have sex with a whole bunch of people. And then both sides are looking at like, you know, both sides crazy. But I'd admit plenty of women, they probably had a lot of sex, but they probably had like 6 guys. Because they was probably in long relationship or a long situationship. They just smashed. Now the dude don't know what he doing, but you got a lot of women. They were like, I don't care. I ain't that type of person to be riding the carousel.
And then in the modern day, that's why it makes sense to ask the fucking question. Listen, how many serious long-term relationships have you been in that's over the course of, to be honest with you, over the course of 6 months? How many of those relationships have you been in? Oh, you've been in 2 of them? Okay, cool. How many people have you dated? How many people have you considered dating? And then y'all done something together. Because those 2 things are different. Because you can fuck one person hundreds of times and you can learn a lot from the one person or y'all learn together, whatever the case may be, versus, and I guarantee you more men would be okay with the fact that you had hundreds of sex with this one person only versus having sex with 10, 12, 15, 20 dudes. I guarantee you, the one who had sex multiple times with one person is going to be looked at far more than the other one who had multiple dudes.
Cause they don't see the world how we see it. We see the girls that's riding the carousel, and we seeing how their life is. Majority of the times they don't get that end goal. You know what I'm saying? You always see them with a different person. They are the uncle. They got a new dude. They got a new girl at the barbecue all the time. That's you got women that's like that. They always got a new dude who they with all the time, and then they always asking their friends for advice instead of asking the guys. You're like, yo, the way you moving, dudes see it. Yep. And the thing about it is, you have the women trying to tell us we ain't seeing what we seeing.
Yeah,
but like they trying to tell us we not seeing what we seeing. And at the same time, like I was seeing this, I was seeing this video where they was talking about girl trips. right? And it was like I think it was like jazz and something like that. And then we're talking about girl trips and all that type of stuff, saying if a man have a problem with a woman having girl trip, what's the issue? It's just a girl's trip. And they sit there, act like we haven't been those men that been on the trip, and we see a bunch of girls on girls trip, and we did what we did.
And they got a husband.
And they got a husband. Didn't even know. You probably get an Instagram, all that type of stuff, and you leave and y'all go back home, y'all go back to the States and everything, and you look on her Instagram, the husband ain't on there, but then somebody you may know be on Facebook, you click on that bitch, you got a whole family. Yep. Happily married, dude like this.
Shit, what they not gonna tell you is the whole time that you was busting them down, it was their bachelorette party.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it happens.
So that's my thing. And then women have this thing that they think like you having a bunch of bodies does not affect you. It does. For you to even have a bunch of bodies, you already have been affected. Right? You done been affected mentally. If you're trying to sit here, you already lost when you're trying to explain to somebody that having a bunch of bodies doesn't mean something which you can something can affect you. Just like that video we said the other day. You had one woman, you had woman A and woman B. One woman, after she got divorced, she had sex with like 4 guys in 5 days, separate guys in 5 days.
Oh yeah.
Then a woman said she went to therapy and she thanked God that she didn't do the same thing because she wanted to do the same thing.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
for that woman to go do that, right? That says something. The other woman, she went to therapy so she don't do it. So it has to affect you in some type of way if you go into therapy and you had to get talked out of it.
Well, so let's watch go ahead.
The biggest thing is, bro, you gotta look at legit facts about women. Like I said, like in my past, my younger days, I fucked around a lot of chicks, and I can tell you one thing: when a girl is done with you, bro, she ain't fucking with you no more. Like not even fucking with you no more. So like that right there tells you, and it could be something small, but that tells you when she moves on, she won't circle back. Most times they won't circle back. But with a dude, how sex is with us, man, if we're not locked down on someone, whoever's in the category that we fucked around in the past, we'll do it again. Like it don't mean the same thing to us. So they try to act like it's the same thing. It's not. So that pretty much tells you that you have to bond with someone to have that act happen.
I mostly agree, but I disagree to a little bit.
No, I disagree with if a girl is broken, yes, she can act exactly like us. She can do the same shit, but you can point those out in the fuck, like you can point them out. And I'll say strippers a lot of times, OnlyFans chicks that can do shit like that. But they aren't like the girls who kind of portray, because I think for most parts, girls think they want to be in a relationship, but they're doing the wrong shit to do it. You know what I'm saying? They looking for the perfect motherfucker that don't exist because it don't exist. But they got everybody else telling me that person does exist. And that person make you feel like fucking roses like every goddamn day. It don't work that way.
No, they talking to other women to get other women that don't have the results to get their information. That's what's going on. Majority of times when you hear a woman, you be like, I bet she got brothers and she probably had her dad in her house. I get most of us can listen to a chick and be like, yeah, she probably grew up with some brothers and shit. Those usually are the ones that got more of like more sense.
Yeah.
They usually have more sense and everything, and they agree with everything that you just said. But the women that's talking to other women and women telling them the same bullshit, those are the ones that be lost and they want everything. The ones that got the brothers and everything, they be kind of more realistic. They'll be like, if I can get like 75% of what I want, we can work on the other 25%. 100%. Not the ones that grew up, not the ones that be lying to each other. Like the girls, she be big, busting out the dress, and they be like, "Girl, you fine."
But that's the thing too, though, with the women. Yeah. If you on the whore tour, you can't touch the back of the oven because if you hand out mid, that's when they don't double back. If you hit the back of that motherfucking oven, and these women nowadays, they are getting back to a little bit of shaming. to where even the women would tell you sometimes that, oh, hey, you know, I keep my body count low. So if this and this don't work out, I'll double back on my old. You know, they know who the best tickler is, who touched their spine. So they do double back. But,
it means nothing.
Shit, my bad.
Oh no, you good? We can play it. I was just saying they double back. It just depends on how far you done went up her damn spinal cord.
Nothing. It means nothing. It's just a bodily function that most people end up doing. And that's how I feel about sexuality. And if you want to get your freak on, get it on. And if you don't, keep it locked up in a chastity cage. I literally don't care. But it doesn't mean anything about you morally.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think a lot of people are using their personal experiences to define their reality. So you say like you grew up religious, they told you don't do this. So obviously you're going to do the exact opposite.
That's not why I am who I am.
But I'm just saying.
I just like getting freaky.
Sure, there could be a middle ground there though. Like I think having multiple sex partners, like loosely having sex with different men, not only is it dangerous because you can catch STDs. This is why you guys are having abortions. This is why, you know, you're not desired. It's a lot of things that is happening.
I mean, I would say the amount of sex partners I have would indicate I am desired. I mean, that's like,
are you getting? But men value women that they marry, not women that they have sex with. So women that they have sex with is usually just a throwaway.
But again, men who like to have sex like to be with women who like to have sex. So they actually just partner together. Like that's the reality.
I would disagree.
They just partner together.
I just personally feel like you guys probably don't ever listen to men. Men like women with a low body count. You could just listen to them and they'll tell you this out of their mouth. You don't have to go looking for this.
But again, this is the conversation. The men I like to date are like me, and they like to have lots of partners because we are good in bed and we're experienced.
But you guys are always
and those men want to have a woman who they own their virginity.
You're always speaking for the exception and not the rule, though. Why do you guys in all of your arguments today? You represented the exception and not the rule.
I'm asking why do men prefer women with lower body counts? Is it just a name?
Because these are the women that have to bear their children.
Ignorance is bliss, and they don't want to.
These are the women that have to bear their children.
Oh, you guys seem to have a problem a little bit with men, like just comments that you're making, but yet you.
I have no problem with men. I'm straight.
Well,
I love men.
I just heard like multiple just negative comments about men. Like
you
that
do realize that men are responsible for 90% of the violent crime.
But you're sleeping with many of them.
Yeah,
so
but
do you
we still love men.
90.
Yeah.
So if men are responsible for 90% of the violent crime, right? How much of that crime is towards women? Because even if you go to DV, they outnumber the men on DV if you want to actually break it up into classifications of relationships and stuff. And half the time the DV even gets called in, the women started this shit. A woman could crack you across your shit right now. And if she has one scratch on her from a bottle or something breaking and just a ricochet hitting her, you still getting arrested. You ain't got to do shit to her. But if they find a flaw on her and they see the flaw on you, like she literally got to beat you up and don't no flaw be left on her for her to leave.
Mm-hmm.
If a scratch is on her, you going, whether you did something or not.
I think I know the other thing, Courtney.
So why is it that nowadays, when you get into these conversations, they want to be like, oh, men is XYZ violence and all this. If a man is starving and his stomach is touching his back, he ain't worried about you. He trying to crack the next dude for what he got. We know that your entire outfit came from Shein and Temu. That man see you walking down the street, you only got $10 worth of clothes on your body. He not worried about you.
No money in the purse.
He worried about the dude that's walking down the street in the, $5,000 Giorgio Armani suit, or, hey, we want to take it to the hood, the $1,000 Pele jacket. That's where he going. So what's all this? Why women always think that everything violent and they ain't never even seen violence? Like shorty over there that like women with the little white cowgirl boots on, she probably done sucked 1,000 dicks by now from the way she talking, and ain't none of them beat her head in. Ain't nobody took her to Ike and Tina's attitude cleaners.
And she probably done bust them open too.
Yeah, she ain't never been here. She took
percent of the violent crime that
Oh,
still
shit.
does not represent all of it. That still would be the minority.
Huh?
I think I know the other thing that you said. You said you want us to know this.
What's that?
Is it the women they have every time they talk about relationship dynamics, they have a repertoire of the same talking points? Is that it?
That's one of them. But
because through this conversation, she just out of nowhere throughout men commit the most violent, all the majority of the violent crimes, and they're sitting there talking about like sex.
Yeah, yeah, that's one of them.
So it's like they have a repertoire and they got bullets and they use it every single time, right? And they pick the bullets back up after they done with a battle, and then like I gotta keep these for the next time. We start talking about men. I'm gonna go down the repertoire. Yeah, they commit the most violent crimes. They cheat. They this. They that. They blah blah blah. They the worst. They X, Y, and Z. They have sex. Why can't we do it? It don't affect them. Why can't we do it? It's like we are not the same. Like the world do not treat us the same at all, and we see things differently. Our logic is different. Our experience predicate our logic a lot of times. So it's like, yeah, you gotta it's kind of backwards with dudes. Dudes can go to college and smash a whole bunch of chicks, and you be like, you know what, I'm good. And then when they find a good chick, I'm good. I'm done. I done seen it all. I'm good. Women, on the other hand, they get ran through or whatever, and then they be like, you know what, get in a relationship. Oh, he ain't perfect. I'm about to go have a whole phase.
But dude, because the thing is, because you run into that girl that was good, but you run into so many fucking terrible women. Like if you smashing a lot of girls, you run into just goddamn so many fucked up girls that you get that one that's good, you gonna try to work that shit out.
But who the ones that fucked them up though? Who fucked them up? It's y'all women. It's y'all men that can't keep y'all dicks in y'all pants, and y'all one beat. Shut up.
Yeah, it's ton of it's so you just run through so many fucking just horrible fucking the way they act and all that kind of shit. You get that one that shows 25% of what you want. You're like, I can work with this shit. Like, if the main one is you just not a hoe, then we can work with everything else. We good.
So is that it doesn't represent
So men
all
are
None of us
awesome. Men are great. They
against-
protect you just like they
We're not
assault
anti-men.
women. They protect women. They fight wars so you don't have to.
From other men. They protect you from generally another man. So enough with that.
Okay, that is protecting whom?
But I'm saying I'm
Everybody's
not against
protect-
men.
Okay, but
You
they're
literally
doing
just
it
put
to
words in my
protect
mouth
their.
saying, "Oh, I'm anti-man." I'm not.
I didn't
I'm
say you were
straight.
anti-man.
F men. A lot of them.
I didn't say you
No,
were
I'm serious.
anti-man.
I'm
pretty
so
sure
tired
that
of
we
feminists
all
being labeled
love
as
men.
Anti-man. We're not. In fact, I think feminists help men because we're trying to relieve a little bit of pressure off of them. Like,
But they're
I'm
not asking you
anti-man.
that. They would rather you just respect them. They would just rather respect. They don't care about none
Just
of the
because
things
we don't
you have
worship
to
men
offer.
doesn't mean that we don't like them. I don't put them on a pedestal. I don't treat them like they're
But they
princes.
should
I'm not
be
like,
on a
oh, what
pedestal.
great,
They
amazing
they
dudes.
are
I like men just fine. I'm unfortunately straight too.
Question on this side for especially for those of you who love men, right?
Right.
What can you tell me some things you love about men?
Yeah, some of them have great sense of humor. Some of them are super helpful and funny. And I mean, I like men the same reasons I like women. These are all just human traits. You're funny, you're smart, you're good looking, you take care of me. I have girlfriends like that. I'm not by side.
But we're not talking about
friends
yeah,
or girls.
we're talking because you said that a lot of people think feminists hate men. I want to know without talking about women.
Okay.
Only talking about men. What do you like about men?
Even when you
About
call
their
that one.
uniqueness of being. I'm asking the men lovers.
See, I guess I'm trying to think about what makes men unique, though, because when I like a man, they're funny, they're smart, they're good looking. But I could describe a woman with these terms.
Okay, so
too.
you don't think that there are things about men that are unique necessarily?
Well, I mean, I'm born straight, so I can't say like I choose to be attracted to men. Like this is how I was born. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like I can't tell you what that's about, but I can say that I like men because they're funny, they're smart. Some of them, they can protect me some if I need to. Sometimes, like I understand why you like men, but I think you can all understand that they have traits that are not good, right? Like you have men you don't like, right? You know that not all men are great.
Wait, who is this
And I want to
nigga?
know what you like about men too.
That's how I feel listening to this, man.
PG.
That's what I'm
right.
saying,
So
dog.
I would
Yeah.
say a lot of my good friends are men. I think men are smart and funny, just like she was saying. I think that I'm sexually attracted to men. I think they're pretty much the exact same as women. But if I were choosing like to hang out with someone one-on-one, I'd probably pick a woman because I'd probably be safer because they probably wouldn't be trying to, I don't know, have sex with me as an ulterior motive.
Talking, man. So it sounds like a lot of.
And you shut the fuck up, huh?
Oh shit! Quarter. Ain't this the same bitch that said she like having sex? It's all like now she talking
The
about
contradictory is
have
real.
a conversation without an alternative motive, but she the one saying she likes sex to the point that she got kicked out the church or something. She left the church so she can have more sex. Now she want to talk without having sex, and then she asks a simple question. What do you like about men? And every single one of them went back to the reason why they like women.
Went back to what the reason why they like women, but also they piggyback what they say they piggyback and say the same exact thing as the first person said. They same fucking talking points.
They demonize the men while doing it, right? It went from, hey, what do you like about men? I like everything about men that I can get something out of. But they are bad men. But at the same time, I can do the same thing with women.
But all women possess the good parts that men have. Everyone.
Right, apparently, right? You know what I'm saying? We just come to the earth, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We just that's basically what we're saying. Well, I like it when they're funny, when they're attractive, and then sometimes if I need them, then they can protect me. But yet in the same sentence, you turn around and say you feel more safe with a woman than you do a man. That woman can't fucking protect. Man, I'm gonna be 110% honest with y'all. I don't give a fuck if it's 2 or 3 of y'all. If it's 3 or 4 niggas versus 3 girls, guess what? All y'all getting got. If you want me to keep it 110% with y'all, all 3 of y'all getting got. And mind you, one of them niggas can take 2 of y'all by himself. So it really don't need to be 3 of them. It can just be 2 niggas. So let's keep this shit 110% honest. This is why it's so fucking hard to have conversations with women like this, especially liberals. They don't even know how to step. First of all, they get triggered when you say some shit that they don't like. They don't know how to have a real deal conversation. It's very disingenuous. And they get triggered easily as fuck. And then on top of that, they continuously keep contradicting themselves in their own argument. So they keep dissolving their own fucking argument when they're having the conversation. Like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you like men or do you not like men? But when we ask you to like men, don't mention anything about what women do and what women can't do. What is it that you like about men? Can you thoroughly tell me what it is about men that you desire, that you love about them? What is it? What is the qualities that you love about them? Not the tangibles, intangibles. Let me know. Can you dive in? Can you go on the laundry list? But I guarantee you, if you ask them what it is that they love about women, they can go on a full diatribe about what it is that they like about women. And
they talk in a
utopia world.
Yeah. They talk in convenience of you can have the same conversation, but it's on 2 sides of the coin. They're gonna flip on they're gonna find a way to be the victim on each side. They talk in convenience. If you say, what do you like about men? They're gonna say something, but at the same time, they gotta be the victim in some type of way. If you say, shit, I don't know, bro. Like, they're talking convenience. You can have a topic of it just depends on how they listen to it. Is I hear the question, let me hear how I can be how can I be the victim? And what tends to happen is they contradict themselves all the time because they're thinking about how I can be the victim at that point in time. Just like what we just saw. We talking about men. They the number one, they commit 90% of violent crimes and X, Y, Z, and this, that, and the third. But at the same time, turn around and say, well, I like having sex with men. So sex is just, it ain't that crazy of a thing. It's just recreational. It's all good. Men have sex. We have sex. It's just a common thing that we like. So you got all these bodies with these guys. Ain't none of them hit you or nothing like that. But you trying to demonize us at the same time.
Bro, let me come like
if we were so goddamn dangerous, you wouldn't even put yourself in the situation to have sex with all these guys to even have a high body count. That's like, hey, I know. That's like me going to prison and saying I know a lot of these dudes in prison. They in jail for violent shit. You know what? Let me go to jail and I'm gonna just walk through because I think they cool. and thinking ain't shit finna happen to me.
But bro, like the way I look at a lot of this shit is that I've been here before. Like I don't know, I just follow along with me, man. Like I say shit a lot. I feel like a lot of women like mentality kind of like kids because I've been here before. I've had this mentality when I was like 16, 15, 16. I've had this mentality before to know that, yo, I could live on my own. I got a job at fucking Sonics. Me and my cousin get an apartment. I don't need to go to fucking school. I don't need to finish school because guess what? I got my life planned out. My parents keep telling me I need to keep going to school to finish some shit that I don't want to do. And I feel like I got this shit right. And I fucking felt like that shit would have been worked out right. Because, you know, I've had a couple people who dropped out of school that I knew back where I was. And, you know, like your boy Raw would say in the hood, some of my boys, they fucking dropped out and they had their own apartments and shit. And they were working jobs. And the only they were doing was buying shit to fix up their cars that their parents bought them. I'm like, kind of like the shit I want to do. Like in that little phase. And I thought that shit would work for me. And I literally was like, I brought this shit to my pops at one time. He told me, "You're a dumb motherfucker. You ain't doing this shit." You fucking idiot. And I swear to God, bro, I swear I was like, you know what? I thought it was the best idea in the world. I said, you know, I'm gonna keep my job. I'll better get a new a car. I'll pay for it. I'll give you. I think I even said I'm gonna give you some rent money. He said, "You fucking idiot." Like, nah, that shit ain't working. And I swear that's how they think of shit. It's almost like you think you thinking this utopia of the way shit's gonna work, and that's not the world. That's not the way the world works at all. Like it's not even close to the way the world works.
They indoctrinated. They can't say anything positive about men because inherently, if I say anything positive about men, people will think I'm a pick me. People think I'm aligning with men and X, Y, and Z. So now I have to put a negative connotation, even if I am giving them props. I got to put some kind of negative connotation on men in some type of way, right?
Yeah.
As you just saw, every time they went to the next woman, she said the same thing the previous one said, but at the same time, they had to put some kind of negativity in the situation where the woman is said, "Hey, what do you like?" Which means something positive. And that's it. She didn't say, "What is it about men that you like that women also have?" She ain't say none of that. She just said about men. And then she even corrected them, and they still doing it. That's indoctrination at its finest. That's like the Trump derangement syndrome type shit. Like that shit is crazy.
But Tony, same shit. Same shit. If a woman feels that like she's a stay-at-home mom, her husband's working all the time. She's taking care of the kids. She's doing that. She feels that she's doing way the fuck more. She ain't getting what she needs. She ain't getting all this shit. And she decides, you know, I can get it better. She still fucking thinks that a dude should support her life. And if he's like, I don't fucking feel like I should, or I don't want to do this shit. I feel like I'm getting a short end of the deal. All her friends and she in the same mind would be like, you're a fucked up man because you aren't gonna pay for now it's your kids. You ain't paying for your kids to live in this house. You ain't giving the same fucking lifestyle. Like, how unrealistic is this? You have fucking blown up my fucking life, and you really expect for me to fucking do shit for you? Like, what the fuck? Like in what world does that work? I don't even get. And literally, like, they are the straight face will say, you should fucking get that little ass apartment. Let me stay in this house. My new boyfriend's gonna come over. He gonna be new daddy. You can't see your kids, and you should be cool with it because you didn't tell me everything I liked about myself. Like, what the fuck, bro? Crazy, man.
It's just crazy.
Let me play the rest of this shit.
But I mean, I just don't see men as like a special category that they need to be worshipped in some separate way. Like, oh, men are really the reason why I'm here. I think the reason why I'm here is women. I tend to worship women more than men.
But don't you know that men allow you to have your rights? Because if it really came down to it, they can just overpower you and take all of your rights.
Actually, I have rights because of women. I have rights because women.
You have
who
rights
came
because
before
of men.
No, I have rights because of women.
No,
I'm here because of women.
Okay, and if they declare war on you because of your rights, what happens? You all die.
Okay, you're having a hypothetical conversation about something that hasn't happened. I'm having a real conversation about the fact that the reason why I'm able to vote is not because of men, but because of hard-working women.
And who allowed it?
A few good men.
Who allowed these things to happen? Men, not a few. A lot of good men. A lot of good men. Why do you think there are no woman civilizations? Because men will take them down.
If you create gender into class, then men are also pedophiles and rapists and criminals by your logic. You realize that, right?
Yes, but guess what? That is the minority of them.
I would say men are not rapists. Some men who are
the
bad
minority.
do bad things.
The minority. Most men are not
because
criminals.
I am not treating gender like a class.
Right.
I understand that police officers and soldiers are more often men, but that doesn't mean that men who are not those things suddenly get to be like, actually, I'm doing forced doctrine too. No, you've got a small group of young men who are given fiat authority by a bunch of state men to enact rights that all of us agreed on. That's how democracy works. If you want to treat gender like a class, then you have to say men are soldiers and men are rapists. And I think this is not true. Some men are rapists and some men are soldiers.
Well, it just sounds like, I mean, like, so if a man tells you to do something, you're going to do it. Do you, I mean, are you a woman
if he's
who
my
falls in
husband,
line?
absolutely. Yes,
If he's your husband.
I'm here to
if you said
serve.
if he's your husband. Yeah, that makes sense. But let's talk about just some random ass man.
If a random man just asked me to do something.
That's what I'm saying. Like you
something
just a minute ago said like, oh, men, if they could come in and just do this, like they can take our rights from us. It's like, yeah, that's why we're here.
But
We're
that's
here
just to
make
show
sure
you that
happen.
men are not your
you
enemy.
make it sound
That's
like
all
I'm supposed
saying.
to fall in line.
But you guys are, everything you're saying is because of the men, because of the patriarchy.
That's not what patriarchy does
are
to men.
not your enemy.
Yeah, no,
They're not-
patriarchy is a system.
I know, but I said because of the patriarchy. Men are not your enemy, is what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that if men didn't want you to have rights, you wouldn't have them. That's what I'm telling you.
So they could be pieces of shit. Like
that just proves that they're not pieces of shit because you have rights.
But how long have we had them? How long have we had them? How long?
I could say the same thing about black people.
About
I'm not over here
105
complaining
years
about being black in America.
14 countries out of 190 countries, women actually have rights. And what those rights are, there's like a whole chart out of but only 14. Like if you go anywhere else in the world, your rights can be taken away just because of the body you have. And like we're very grateful to be in this country where we do have rights. But we've only had them for 105 years. We have to defend those rights against the bad men that are openly talking about repealing the 19th and like women should stay in the kitchen. Like it's not all men. I have great men in my life. I love them. I just hung out with one of them last night and it's like they're so caring. I do love men. I just don't love all men. I hate abusive men. And good men know that when we're talking about them.
Can I ask one question? What would it take for you guys to no longer be feminists and to say, hey, we have all equal rights now. We have everything we need. When does the movement stop? Because it seems like it never stops.
It's not going to stop because they now have already overturned Roe v. Wade. We've seen a right that we fought for and won taken back. So now we have to come back to the right.
They overturned it to give it to the states, which means the people within those states can vote on how they want to do things.
Well, then it's not a right. If it can be stopped at an invisible line, then it's not a right anymore.
It was
and that's
never
why we're
supposed
here
to be
fighting
there
for
in
those
the
rights.
first place. It's not in the Constitution. It was never supposed to be there in the first place.
Neither was the women's right to vote or anything else. Like
I personally, very controversial, I don't think women should vote because we get women like this that say all of these crazy things.
You don't vote then, right?
No, I do vote.
Why? Lead by example. This is what I'm saying. You're all here using your voice to tell me that you don't want one.
I have to combat women like you, so I have to vote.
No, you're using your voice to tell me you don't want a
wrong
voice.
side
So go
of issues.
home.
That's why men are more logical because you guys are always on the wrong side of issues. That's what it is. You don't even know why you're doing the things that you're doing. You just do things and then you blame men.
Let me tell this, like I'm going to say this right now, and I hope this gets on camera. And let me say this, being on the side of a woman's right to vote is never the wrong side of an issue. Every person here is a human being. Voting is a human right. I won't sit here and have a conversation about repealing human rights and pretend that that's a normal conversation to be having. Women deserve the right to vote because we are human beings. We deserve to be treated like humans, and we are not more emotional than men. When a man throws a remote at a television and breaks it after a football game, then have a conversation with me about who's more emotional.
The other thing, though, about the voting thing, though, for me, is that this country was founded because of taxation without representation. And so if women don't vote, then I'm not going to pay, then we shouldn't pay taxes, right? Because that's taxation without representation.
Yeah, you don't have to work either. That's the point. Your man will pay the taxes. That is exactly the point. You won't work.
What world?
Okay.
I don't know.
I actually wanted to answer your question. You asked about body count, coming back to body count, which was the last prompt. And you said, why do men want a woman with a low body count? And the answer is because we're not equal. And again, this is going to always be the fallacy and the flaw with feminism, because you're going to be fighting for an equality that does not exist. I'm not saying better or worse. I'm saying we are different. Now, it depends on what you want intimacy for. If you want to be out there doing it with everybody, you absolutely have your right to do that. Please be loud and proud. We want to see you coming. The men love women like that to have fun with. However, when you talk about love, when you talk about marriage, when you talk about a committed relationship, most of us, when you get to your old age, usually you have one, if you're lucky, like me, two great loves. You don't think about the string of casual sex that has been promoted and think of that like, man, I really got it all in. Most of us don't. You're free to do that if you want to, but I'm just saying, as we age, what's going to really matter is the relationships, the marriages, the families, the relationships that meant something, the intimacy that meant something. You can do as much as you want to with whoever you want to, but I do agree, the way casual sex is promoted now, it is hurting us. It may be fun in the moment, but it's going to hurt us, and we're all going to pay the price for it.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing. This was a really interesting discussion. I thank you for your voices and your honesty.
No, that's facts. No, that's facts. Shout out to Auntie, bro. Now she the one that was cooking. Shout out to Auntie.
Yeah, she definitely did.
The other chick beside her, I'll be honest too, the chick that was beside her, she was cooking too. She was cooking up on their ass too. And this is why you can't listen to these liberal women. You cannot listen to them. You cannot listen to them. They are a danger to society. They are a danger, bro. If you listen to them, I'm telling you, this is why the world is where it's at today. You got first. I know what it is. What is it, bro?
On the left side, it was white women. On the right side, it was black women.
Nah, it wasn't even that.
It wasn't. Oh, I mean, that still is true. That's crazy. Because this is the thing, bro. I be listening to. I think right now we got so much information that people don't like to hear history no more. Like I think because even back, like I think when I was in not high school, but like a little after college, I was hearing that they was taking some books are certain studies and stuff out of elementary school and everything. People don't know history no more. The whole situation, like we looking at Jim Crow and all that type of stuff, what the white women was doing. They was the main ones. Like they got a whole picture with a black little girl going into the school, and there was a bunch of white little women kids. They old now, but they had all the privilege in the world. They the ones that was lying on black men and all that type of stuff. They were just sitting there just kicking it. And then them being able to vote, men couldn't even vote. You had to own property back in the day. Them having a bank account, that's a lie. You could get a bank account. It just, if you was married, you couldn't have one because it was illegal for a married woman to acquire debt.
Yep.
So it's like, these are the things when I be listening, when I be hearing them. And then the lady, she just can't, like the repertoire. She talking about voting. Ain't nobody said that they were trying to take your rights to vote. Nobody has said we're gonna take your rights to vote. Like, bro, and then it's just so stupid, bro.
And then the fact,
and I feel sorry for any of the black women that think like them, because that shit that they talking about wasn't our fight at all. Right? We always say slavery wasn't that long ago. Right? So if slavery wasn't that long ago, and we here now, where was the time in between black men being in a good old boys club that, you know, we were like white men were like, yeah, bro, Yeah, come on, everything's good now. We finna do all that type of stuff. We're gonna put you in a good old boys club. Everything's good. You gonna get this good job on oppressed women. You gonna oppress your black women.
But you also see too though, Clem, is the fact that the conversation is disingenuous within itself. Even when Shorty was trying to ask them, who gave y'all the right to vote in the first fucking place? Who gave y'all? That
had two different answers.
She was answering with her emotions. She was, well, the women who worked and then they fought for it. Okay, but they still had to get approval from somebody, and who was that? And then they tried to, of course, they didn't move the goalposts again. Well, a few good men. But that's not, you're not answering the question.
Then they said a lot of good men.
Right. A few good men, then
they don't even know.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The history. They don't know history. They are fed information and they have their repertoire of what they want to talk about, and they just going to keep on that. And then when you want to sit down and you just want to take a deep dive into the logic of how they got to the point, the way they think, it's a done deal. They can't go that far. They can't go in that detail because it's been told to them.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I'll fight this all the time. And I see this, and happens in every fucking debate when someone's passionate about something. They bring up fucking history. For me, it just doesn't. It doesn't relate or correlate. Because I look at a situation where if it was something that I have the right to do right now, and the reason I'm not doing it, I'm gonna bring it back on something that happened in the past. To me, makes no fucking sense. I can fucking do it. I can fucking do it right now. Like, it don't matter if it was 2 days ago, like that I couldn't do it, but right now I can. So even if it was 2 days ago, bro. You could not go down the street, but today I can. Why the fuck am I talking about something that happened 2 days ago? I can do it now. Fuck it, I'm going. Let's go, bro. Like, I don't understand this whole bullshit. Like, these are the arguments that people fucking love to have about, like, back in 1945 and shit. And fucking none of us were born back then, and nobody else, like our parents weren't even born back then. Like, why the fuck are we talking about that shit? Like, it doesn't even fucking matter, bro. Like, at the end of the day, it is progressive, but the thing is, the shit they're talking about is just bullshit. Like, it's just
remember what I said, Marcus. Remember what I said. They talking convenience, right?
Yeah.
They talking convenience, because if there was on the other side of the coin, women are more educated. They do better than men. They better than this and blah 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 and blah 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 blah. Then we want to talk about this now. Oh, we couldn't vote. They tried to Roe v. Wade. We can't even have all control of our bodies. And they're like, damn, I thought y'all was killing it.
Now y'all,
I thought y'all didn't need men to pass legislation. What's going on now?
But again, we already talked about that too. Like, hey, if something happens, if a woman is up in that position and she got it, and someone for some reason turns her down and says that's probably not a good idea, it is never that it's a fucking bad idea. That will never be it. It's always gonna be, hey, I'm black, I'm white, I'm a woman, or whatever the fuck the shit is. It won't ever be that's just a fucking bad idea, which probably what it is. Like, that's just every situation. It is a bad idea for you to be fucking a lot of dudes, because this shit's gonna affect you in the long run. It'd be like me saying, yo, bro, like, you know what? It's all good. It ain't affecting me right now. I should be drinking 2 bottles of vodka every day. Fuck it. Hey, I can do it right now. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Why not? I mean, it's not affecting me right now. But again, on the long run, it's probably gonna fuck my shit up. So it's like, all right. So like with this whole sex thing, like, again, it's what they're preaching. Like that one lady said, bro, she was talking some facts. She said, hey, if you want to be in the street and that's what you want to do, and that's all you want to do is be fucking around, cool, man, do it. But all these bitches are talking about they can't find good men. They talking about they can't get into relationships. They can't fucking find a good husband. Bro, you can't even bond with nobody anymore because you fucking move the fuck on so many times that, like, you can't even do it. Like, you might have some fucking argument about you drink too much Starbucks and it's fucking whatever. And it should be a conversation you have. You're like, fuck, I'm out this bitch. I'm gonna go find somebody else. So it is really not it is not the body count. It's not the ick. It's not all that shit. It is what you're talking about. Because again, most men, if you say, hey, I just want to be a hoe, I want to do this, and I want to fuck a lot of dudes, I'm pretty sure most dudes would be cool with that. They would not be against that. But if you bitching how hard it is and how fucked up dudes are and all this other shit, they're not emotionally intelligent and all this other bullshit you bitching about, bro, this is probably the reason, because you can't deal with problems. That's it.